What's poppin', internet? Welcome to the inaugural episode of the Synced Up Filmcast, the show where we reel you into movie news and talk about the things that we've been watching. Hey, we're workshopping that. I'm one of your hosts, Timothy Durrell.
It's gonna stay.
Joining me, oh yeah, that one's stuck,
it's not
baby.
leaving.
And joining me this week is your boy. Wait, did I say my name? Well, I'm one of your hosts, Timothy Durrell. And joining me this week is your boy, Michael Clare. What's up, Mike? How you doing on this fine
good.
Monday?
You know, you can't tell if I'm wearing pants or not.
Yeah, I know. I really wanted to take my pants off.
You're telling me you have them on?
Yeah.
You shouldn't.
So this is the first ever Synced Up Filmcast. If you didn't know by now, we talked about it a lot on the other podcasts that we run, the Video Game Podcast. This one's going to be more movie-centric. We're going to be talking about news. We're going to be talking about things coming out. We're going to watch trailers. We're going to be taking maybe submissions from the community to watch like maybe some more niche movies. We're going to do reader mail. We're going to have all the classic stuff. We might do movie 20 questions. I don't know. So for this week, it's a little more lax because we're trying to figure out what the show is going to be fully. So we're going to talk about some news. We're going to watch a couple of trailers. But most importantly, we're going to talk about our top 5 favorite movies between the both of us. So that is – this chair is creaking. Creak. So that's exciting. So we're gonna be doing that. But before we do that, a little bit of housekeeping for you. We are on Patreon. So go to patreon.com/syncedup and you can go over there. We have 2 tiers right now, the $1 tier and the $5 tier. The $1 tier gets you access to our community Discord where we play games like League and stuff. We have community game nights. We talk about movies. We talk about books that we're reading. We do a lot of stuff over there, and that's pretty cool. Or the $5 tier, which gets you access to the Discord as well, or our also. Wait, we have a 3rd tier, don't we?
No, we just have 2 tiers.
Oh yeah, we all put it in a 2nd tier.
Yeah,
where you will get a audio feed version of our impressions videos that we do over video games every week, which we might start doing for movies. I don't know. And then also, it'll get you exclusive post shows to each of the shows that we do, where we just sit here and shoot the shit, which is pretty exciting. Also, we're on YouTube, so if you're listening to this in your favorite podcasting service, which I don't know what date you will be listening to it because that shit's weird.
Hopefully,
that first episode goes up weird.
The 13th.
Yeah, hopefully. But probably not. You can go over to youtube.com/synceduppodcast, and this one will actually be there definitively tomorrow. Yes. Which is really nice.
The premium version.
And if you don't want to see our faces and you don't have YouTube Premium and you're like, man, I really want to close this because these guys look fucking stupid.
True.
You can go over to your favorite podcasting service and search Synced Up Filmcast and look for the white and red logo. Ooh, we a little different now. We a little different. New episodes go up in both of those feeds at 7 a.m. No, I got to say Tuesday now, huh?
You didn't even say Monday.
I didn't. I gotta type it in there. New episodes go up in both of those feeds at. I wanted to say Monday, Tuesday, 7 a.m. Central Time Zone. Gang. Also, you can write into the show at synceduppod@gmail.com with any questions, comments, concerns, movie recommendations, movie games, whatever you want. Fielding the quote thing, but for movies, I don't fucking know. Whatever you want to do.
Hey, think about it for a second. There's a quote you could say today that we will have to remember
in a year,
40 weeks from now.
Exactly. Yeah. synceduppod@gmail.com for that. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at synceduppod to keep up to date with all of our content across video games, movies, impressions, all the shit that we want to do. You can keep up to date with it over there, which is pretty nice. Also, if you're into video games, Synced Up Podcast, the blue and white logo over there. Same YouTube feed, different audio feed.
The OG.
And you can go and look for that over there.
A better set, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This one's nice.
So now let's talk about the news from this week. The big news from this week. The only news we got right now, because the show's a little weird and a little rocky start, but that's okay. Sony Pictures moves movie output deal from Starz to Netflix and Rich Pact. Studio also sets first look agreement to direct a streaming film titles. This is by Matt Donnelly and Cynthia Littleton at Variety. It's a little weird to be talking. We're gonna be talking about articles from like real. I don't want to say like real publications because like IGN
but like just
Game
non-gaming.
Yeah,
publications.
we're gonna be on like Variety,
new names,
Life magazine. We might have to subscribe to the Washington Post. Yeah. So Netflix has emerged the winner of a nearly 2-year auction for the exclusive U.S. rights to stream Sony Pictures theatrical releases in the first paid TV window, starting with the studio's 2022 slate. Netflix has also set a first-look agreement with Sony for all of the studio's original movies produced for the direct-to-streaming market. That deal also requires Netflix to commit to a certain number of titles from the studio, but it doesn't stop Sony from selling direct-to-streaming titles to Netflix's rivals. In that case, however, Netflix would have to pass on the project for Sony to be able to sell it to another streamer. As part of the pact, Netflix will license an unspecified number of older titles from Sony's movie vault. I'm sure I could name a few. Sony Pictures' primary pay TV partner has been Starz, now owned by Lionsgate since 2006. The new theatrical output deal with Netflix, which only covers the U.S., is believed to run about 5 years and is undoubtedly worth hundreds of millions of dollars to the studio over the term. Industry sources says Sony executives are working on another significant theatrical movie licensing pact outside of the Netflix agreement. So this is a big news, specifically because as I'm going to talk about here in a bit after we watch some trailers for some movies, we're rewatching the Marvel movies.
And you're going to have to You're gonna have to hop
I'm
over.
gonna have to hop over. I'm not gonna be able to stay on Disney Plus for the Spider-Man movies, which sucks. And I thought maybe they'd be coming to that, but apparently not.
It's such a weird deal that all the power that Disney has in the world, they just can't keep Spider-Man. Sony has such a tight grip on that.
I mean, yeah, that's the.
What are some other big films you can think of that are impacted by this? Really, any outside of the Spider-Man movies?
Nah, because I can't really. That's the only thing that's at the front of my mind.
I mean, so
Spider-Man.
Sony obviously have a lot of video game movies coming down the pipeline. Is all that stuff going to be on Netflix then?
Is Sony have a lot of video game movies coming down the pipeline?
Yeah. Well, because remember they have PlayStation Studios now.
Oh yeah.
So Ghost of Tsushima.
But they're working with HBO on that.
That's why this is confusing.
Yeah, but this is maybe just for films because those are shows, right? No,
Ghost of Tsushima is a movie.
Ghost of Tsushima was a movie. I can't remember because it was so long ago that we talked. So long as it.
That's why I think this is a very confusing thing because you're taking from Stars, Disney Plus. I guess HBO is getting short end of a stick too.
Yeah, all I can really think about is the Spider-Man movies for sure.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see how this plays out. I mean, if you get some crazy good Sony movies on Netflix, that's nice.
That will be nice. But also I would like them to be on Disney Plus, so when I'm looking through the phases of Marvel, I can see those Spider-Man movies right there. Straight
to film Sony movies. I don't know if that's like a normal thing.
Yeah.
Or if I'm uncultured
straight
here.
to streaming.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Sorry. I guess it's usually it's usually called straight to DVD.
Yeah,
now straight to streaming.
Yeah, and usually reserved for Nick Cage. Nicolas Cage. Yeah, the $5 bin.
For real.
He made a movie.
He's doing bangers.
Colors Out of Space. I like.
Crudes.
Yeah, no.
You don't like Crudes?
No, I don't like.
Did you watch the first one?
Yeah, didn't watch the second one though.
Neither did I.
I don't.
But he did a phenomenal job.
Yeah. Did he?
Yeah, that movie's in my top 5. We'll talk about it later.
Wait, is it? Okay.
Absolutely.
I was about to be really confused. Yeah, so we'll see what exactly comes out of this. Obviously, this doesn't kick in until next year, so we'll have to see exactly what this means for all of the Sony titles, and if we see those any other place, if Netflix passes on some and decides to let them go to other places, who knows what that means.
So it's basically a first dibs agreement is what it is.
Basically.
Okay. That makes sense.
That's it for the news that we got this week, because it's a little weird, and we're kind of getting to the groove of getting news articles from
what we think is worth discussing.
Yeah, and that we have anything to say about.
There's like a million tiny articles about how this B-list actor or actress is now in this film, you know, or this little thing that the director said. One of the news articles I saw was Zack Snyder. Why does Zack Snyder use Times Roman for subtitles? And I'm like, I don't know if that's something we want to talk about.
Yeah, I don't think we really need to care about why.
We'll have to start
does Times New Roman
dusting through them and trying to figure out what's actually worth talking about.
We do got a couple of trailers to watch and react to.
Some exciting ones.
We've already seen them, but these are the two newest trailers of things coming out this week. The Loki show for Disney Plus that's coming out June 11th just recently got a new trailer, which is really crisp. And the upcoming Space Jam with LeBron James also got a new trailer from Warner Bros. And that one was also looking pretty spicy. So let's go ahead and watch these hosts because I'm kind of stoked.
Which one are you feeling first?
Just run Space Jam. We'll go into Loki because that'll be a good segue.
Come on and slam. Yeah, we got a lot of MCU talk, really.
We do got a lot of MCU talk. All right, run it. Run it.
So that's LeBron's mansion we're looking at right now.
Yeah, make sure those audio levels are crisp for the people.
You got amazing potential on the court.
I can't see it. I can't see the audio levels.
It's not what I want.
Sure? Because it's different from what you hear.
Never let me do what I want to do. You never let me just
that's good.
do me.
Is that LeBron's actual son?
No shirt, no clue.
Okay, thank you.
You know.
Oh, what's his actual name? Bronny?
Bronny.
What name? Yo, surprise appearance here.
From who?
Yeah, I mean, you'll see in like 10 seconds.
Don Cheadle?
Yeah.
You didn't know he was in this?
Well, I didn't know in this form.
Yeah, I mean, I knew Don.
So Mans gets sucked into a digital basketball.
Flies past the Game of Thrones world, which is cool.
So this is all Warner Brothers properties.
Yeah, there was like I think you could see Gotham in there.
Yeah.
There's a couple other things. This shit gets me stuck, man. You know, because Ready Player One.
Digital Don Cheadle.
What'd you do to my son? Where's Don?
It looks very high quality.
We just got done watching Don Cheadle look up some dudes.
We'll talk about that. Toonwald.
Skadoosh.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of things to look out for.
Yeah, like a lot of Easter eggs and stuff.
Like when he spun that dial, I was like, okay, what other options were there?
What is this?
The LeBron looking crisp.
He does. Boom.
I think this is going to be a real fun movie.
Skadoosh. What's up, Doc?
Bugs, classic. I loved the Looney Tunes movies, the live action ones.
Gandalf, King Kong, Iron Giant.
I know what you're looking for.
Yosemite Sam.
A dream team.
Oh, there she is, baby. Lola Bunny.
Chillax, bro.
That's all I'm talking about, baby.
So, okay. I'm curious, is there going to be any callbacks to the original?
Probably.
Like, is there a remembrance of them doing this before? Yeah.
Does MJ make an appearance?
Is
There's
it
a mystery
canon?
machine.
All right, just the Iron Giant popping up.
A pterodactyl.
Was that a
Yogi Bear,
pterodactyl or was that a Game of Thrones dragon?
King Kong, probably Game of Thrones dragon. Yogi Bear, the It Clown is standing in the background.
Pennywise?
Yeah.
Everybody looks nice. I mean, who are the
Goon Squad.
Who are they even this time?
No
Just
clue.
random elemental people?
No clue. Lola Bunny.
You gotta win this game.
Dame Lillard.
Really?
Oh, hell yeah.
I wonder if
Right
they're
here.
all actually
Got this
basketball players
iconic.
then.
Right here we come.
Boom.
Ready?
Wait. Here's
Ready?
the shot. Wait.
Boom.
There it is. Dude,
the Dwayne Wade meme.
oh my god.
Yikes.
One of the most iconic moments.
This is gonna be a fun movie, I think.
I'm very excited for this movie.
Yeah, I think
I think it's just gonna be fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be nice. I think it's gonna give me like Sonic vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is him.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's go, Granny.
Granny.
I really hope it's not like an hour and 30 minutes of setup and only 10 minutes of fun basketball.
Yeah, I want fun basketball for like the whole thing.
Yeah, but that movie looks exciting. It just looks way better than I thought it would.
Yeah, me too.
Like-
It kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah, quality wise. I mean, they have the resources. I'm not shocked.
Oh, I gotta sneeze.
I think LeBron even is acting better just based off the trailer than MJ. Cause you good, bro?
Yeah, I gotta sneeze.
Stare to light. You good?
Everybody stop talking.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Do you remember Michael Jordan's acting? in
Yeah,
the
it was
original?
terrible. It's atrocious.
Yeah. So I think LeBron might have the upper edge there.
Maybe because it's the modern era.
We should do a tier list of like NBA players and movies.
That's only.
Because is MJ worse than Kevin Durant?
Is Kevin Durant in a movie?
Did you not watch Thunderstruck?
No.
That's like Oklahoma required watching.
He's in it.
It's called, yeah, it's based off the kid gets
Oh yeah.
Kevin Durant's powers from the basketball.
Yeah. I never watched that, but I do remember it now.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, I never seen it.
Yeah, the movie's garbage.
I had a burp. That was an intense
Dude,
burp.
you're under it right
Dude,
now.
all of
Are you okay?
my gases, my like thing, my mucus, my nostrils, everything is fucking me like aggressively.
You gonna be good to go on?
Go on what?
The next trailer. To
Yeah,
move on.
yeah,
Continue on.
Let's watch Loki. Let's get into Loki. This is what I'm really fucking stoked about right here. Big spoilers.
There's a lot of things in this.
Big spoilers for Marvel though. Look away.
A lot of disagreements here
There's
on
actually
what's
no spoilers.
actually in this trailer.
Yeah, no.
There he is, live.
I know what this
Clearly, he's in trouble.
Owen Wilson as a time cap. I mean,
Yeah, who
super
would've-
unexpected.
who would've thunk?
Timekeepers have built quite the circus.
So who are these people? Do
And I
we
see
know?
the cloud.
The
Are they
Darkness.
just yes, but like
Perfection.
no correlation to anything
Big
we've seen so
metaphor
far, right?
guy. I love it.
I love the
Makes
yellow.
you sound super smart. I am
The yellow
smart.
tint.
Good
I
job.
know. Okay.
Owen Wilson. Yeah, like Wilson.
Yep.
Didn't even think about that. Please sign this to verify this is everything you ever said.
Please sign to verify this is everything you've ever said.
I'm really excited for this
This is absurd.
because you never know what's happening
Sign this
when
too.
Loki's on screen,
I know.
and so now that the whole show's based on
I
him,
just love Loki. He's a great character.
yeah, I'm glad they gave him his own show.
The proper
I'm glad they
flow of
found a way to
time.
bring him back.
Yeah.
That was like reasonable.
You picked up the
And who knows? Maybe it puts him right back after.
I mean, it could,
I want you to help us fix
messing
it.
but I'm sure to like fix the timeline, he'll have to decide whether to.
I need your
He's messing up the
unique
time-space
working
continuum. You gotta fix it, bro. You gotta fix it.
Do I get a weapon?
We're time cops. This just looks like such a good vibe, like the humor and stuff.
June 11th.
Not that far. Not that far.
Sword. That looks like the space that
Luckily, he believes
Thor
in
was
himself enough for
in-
the both of us.
when we was hanging out with Korg.
I don't know. There's
Alright,
a lot
fine.
going on.
It is
Okay.
adorable.
There's a couple
Anything
shots
you
up
could
here that are like,
manipulate.
what is that? What is this?
What's happening?
Who's that? Beautiful shots. We're gonna have some really good scenery in this show.
Oh yeah, I agree.
You're not big on trust, are you?
Not that the first two were really lacking, but this one's like, first one
You can
offers.
trust me.
What, trailer?
I've studied
Yeah.
almost every moment of your entire life.
I mean,
You've
show in
literally
general,
stabbed
from
people
the
in the back like 50 times.
Previous two.
Why never do it again?
So he's just straight up a cop.
Yeah, time cop.
What a weird thing. Okay, so that shot there,
Dude, it's not Scarlet.
it has. Yeah,
doesn't
it's
even
not
look-
Scarlet Witch.
It
It's
doesn't even
Natasha
look
Romanoff.
No, it's not.
Yes,
Oh,
it
yeah,
is.
No, it's not. And it doesn't even look like Vormir.
Who is it? Tell me who it is.
The hair's too poofy. The hair
It
is
doesn't
too
matter.
Poofy.
It doesn't matter.
It's too poofy.
It
She didn't
could-
have
it
poofy
could
when she was
be-
on Vormir.
it
She
could
had
totally be
different
her.
hair.
Well,
She had different hair.
Red Skull's on Vormir.
Yeah, but he teleported at the end of Captain America 1.
I mean, sure, but like
To Vormir.
Yeah, does he look how he looked when he teleported?
Yes. He's just wearing a cloak.
Who's to say?
He just has a cloak on.
Who's to say, you know?
But
I really think it is.
That's a Loki trailer. That is really fun.
So how do you think it's going to play out?
No
time-wise?
fucking idea. WandaVision didn't play out how I thought it would, and I bet Winter Soldier doesn't play out how I think it would.
Because I think none of the other series so far seem like they could be, have a season 2 or a recurring thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if Loki's just going around constantly fixing time anomalies, right?
Could have a season 2.
I feel like you could milk that for much longer than you could the other two.
You could.
So I think, I don't know. I hope that's kind of where it goes. Because I don't think he comes back into our timeline.
Yeah.
Because I think that goes against the fixing the timeline stuff.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because
maybe they put him back, and that's why he seems like a changed man.
He's kind of a good guy. No, it's actually bad Loki, right? Yeah, it is because it's Avengers Loki.
Yeah, it's New York Loki.
There's a lot of stuff to think about here.
Yeah, there is a lot of stuff to think about.
Because wow,
that's it for the trailers that we got this week. Nothing else really that we thought was notable or that we could remember.
Been seeing a lot of trailers for Mortal Kombat that comes out in like 2 weeks.
Yep, really close to that. Now it's time for the things that we've been watching.
Quite a few.
We've been watching a lot lately. Obviously, I am going through rewatching Avengers or MCU really, and we just finished Phase 1. Start of Phase 2. Just finished Iron Man 3 earlier today. Man, Phase 1 holds up better than I remember it.
Most of it.
Yeah. Well,
Thor doesn't.
No, Thor still holds. Honestly, Thor not bad. Pretty good.
It's not great. I just feel like it's too. I don't know. Just too small.
Yeah.
Like the whole set, the New Mexico city, right, that they're in. Yeah. It just feels so small.
It does, and
compared to how big
everything like moves fast.
Yeah.
Like really fast. It feels like
even their love relationships
like
and stuff.
With Jane Foster feels like she falls in love with Thor like dummy fast. Yeah. It's like what the fuck?
Unreasonably fast. So
yeah, but I still liked it. And so it's fun rewatching all that stuff. Obviously, we're trying to catch Adriana up, and I'll rewatch.
I think the biggest thing about watching the originals is seeing how far we've come.
Yeah.
Where even like WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier feel so much connected and fluid better than those are.
Yeah.
So
which is really nice. And it's also cool because obviously I'm rewatching with Adriana, and she's never seen the MCU movie. She's only watched Infinity War and Endgame and like parts of other ones.
Yeah.
Luckily, she doesn't really remember Infinity War and Endgame, which is really nice. But it's actually really cool because she's getting to experience like the stuff that we experienced as kids. And like she's actually getting giddy and stuff. Like when watching the Avengers, when we watch the Avengers, like the epic scenes, like on the bridge part when the camera pans and you see like Hulk roar and everyone like in Iron Man lands, like even Adriana was like, oh shit, this is really fucking cool. And so it's really nice to like watch someone experience that, but much later, like 9 years after we did. And so it's going to be really probably Civil War and Age of Ultron and Infinity War. Those are all going to hit really.
I think it's going to be
hard.
really cool. Obviously, by the time we're parents. Yeah. And we have kids who are competent enough to be able to watch it.
Yeah.
There's going to be so much more that's out.
Oh, yeah, because we'll be in like Phase 5.
I mean, there's going to be like 40
6.
movies by that time, right?
Yeah.
You would think?
Yeah, double it up.
Plus the shows. There's going to be so much more to go through.
There's going to be a lot. So we got to finish Phase 2, Phase 3, and then we'll start WandaVision. We'll start Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I think me and Adriana will be done with that by the time Loki drops. Possibly.
So? I think you could.
It's a month and a half.
Yeah.
So
because I feel like some of the ending movies are way more bingeable. Like you're like, all right, let's just watch the next one.
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom.
Especially with like Infinity War. Because that movie you want to know what happens next.
Infinity War's so good.
Because that movie isn't the ending to the story, right?
Run from it. Destiny arrives all the same.
We'll get into that. I have something to say about that later.
So good. Also, on top of that, we've been watching, me and you, Invincible.
Phenomenal
which
show.
Is a really
4 episodes
good show. Yeah, we're 5 episodes.
5
episodes deep now. Completely caught me off guard. Didn't know what was coming. I liked it so much that I bought the first 47 issue compendium for Invincible, which was very expensive.
We'll read eventually.
We will read. But Invincible, if you are not watching it, Amazon Prime original TV show here from a 2003 comic book series that was very, very popular.
Yeah, written by Robert Kirkman, the same guy who did Walking Dead.
Yep, and so he's doing the show, and it's phenomenal. That first episode is a wild ride, and it continues.
You get pulled in real easy, and then every episode after. I mean, you're brought in by the shock, which
shock value. Aggressive shock value.
Yeah, but then you're held on by how well the characters are acted.
The mystery and like what's happening.
But even I don't know, it just feels like the characters feel so good, like the home characters. Yeah, following Mark and his parents and stuff like that. Yeah. It just feels so natural and cool.
And I love the interactions. There's been some good. I know, kind of funny. They did a spoiler cast for. Was it a spoiler cast? No, they just talked to Robert Kirkman on a Kind of Funny podcast, and they talked about a moment in there where Invincible was like talking to his mom, and he's like practicing his landings, and he's like creating craters or whatever. And she comes outside, and she's like, "Get in the house! It's like 2 a.m." And then he's like, "Make me," and she's like, and then like his mom is like, "Does that make you feel powerful to know that I can't physically make you do something?" And I really like that interaction because it's not like how you normally see something.
Yeah.
And they were talking about it on the Kind of Funny podcast, and it was really like resonating with me. I was like, yeah, that actually is like kind of
it's a very powerful moment.
Yeah, where she's like, really? Like, I'm still your mom, dude.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, you're right. And he like,
there's just so many good moments like that in the show. I mean, there's so many interesting characters. You're asking questions constantly the whole show, which sometimes I hate. Where it's like I feel like I'm getting more questions than I am getting answers. We were getting like you would get that sometimes with like on Game of Thrones or other shows like that.
Oh, Game of Thrones.
But it just feels so good to have a show again where I'm like, I need to know what's
going
why
on.
This is
and we're only gonna get 8 episodes, which bums me out. But those are longer episodes.
I wonder if we're gonna get all the answers we want. No way. Obviously not.
We're gonna have to jump to the comic.
But I want the main answer.
Yeah.
Which if you watch the first episode, you'll
know
understand
what the main.
So highly
answer is.
recommend. You should definitely watch that show.
And then also on top of that, rewatched yesterday The Dark Knight, which obviously holds up.
Phenomenal.
So fucking good.
I mean, a lot of people's favorite movie. It's up there, especially on like IMDb. It might be top 5, top 10.
Yeah.
I know top 10 for sure.
It got like a 94, 95 on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's so good. I forgot how long it was too. It's like 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours, 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Because
that movie is gas.
Yeah, I watched a lot of it with you, and I didn't even get to see the boat scene.
Yeah.
I had to stop and think. I was like, is that in the second one? No, why would it be? And it's not. And there's just so many crazy moments in that.
That movie's just so good.
The way Heath Ledger plays
Joker
is so good. As more of a psychological menace to Batman than anything. Oh, so well.
The interrogation scene. The interrogation
scene's great.
Oh my god.
So good.
Kill you? I don't want to kill you.
There's just
what would I do without you?
The film's so good. I love that film a lot.
Yeah, it's really fucking.
Are you gonna rewatch the sequels?
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
I probably won't watch Begins, but I might watch Dark Knight Rises.
I don't remember the plot to Begins.
Me neither. Well, it's just his like birth.
Oh yeah, but like he
goes Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah,
all that stuff.
I don't think I care enough to rewatch it. Yeah, and then Bane, which there's some good stuff in.
Was
Batman
born in the darkness,
molded by it.
You simply adapted to it.
There's so many good.
Chris Nolan, really good.
Phenomenal job. I'm sure he'll come up a lot during this show.
Yeah.
I mean, not specifically this show, but the Filmcast.
Yeah.
Because there's always something to say.
I love that boy Nolan.
I mean, he's in my top 5. I'm pretty sure he's in your top 5.
He's in my top 5 as well.
Man, what a guy.
Yeah, what a guy.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've been watching. I pretty much watched all the same stuff with you. Kylie, have I watched anything?
The Bachelor.
Besides
we watched the first part of Shark Tank.
Yeah, we watched one client in one episode of Shark Tank. That's really it, though.
Yeah. Nothing else that I can think of.
Been watching Twitch and YouTube.
The
classics.
Now it's time for
TikTok.
Reader Mail. You can write into the show at synceduppod@gmail.com with any questions, comments, concerns, just like Lucas did.
Ahead of the game.
Didn't
even know.
Yeah, he didn't even know. Film podcast question here. What movie quotes do you often bust out without being asked to? Now, this
could be a 20-minute segment.
20 minutes if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna. But just any quote from Rango. I could probably recite that entire movie from start to finish.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You probably could.
All the way to the end. I probably could do it. I
used to be able to do that with School Rock.
Like, yeah. I love Rango.
Like,
we're gonna talk about Rango later.
Yeah, I can do certain scenes from beginning to end of that movie.
Oh, so good.
But for like breaking out into quotes, definitely Rango for you.
Yeah. A lot of Thanos.
Thanos is, yes, of course.
A lot of Rango. Anybody from that movie.
Reddit.
Hey there, Fruit Cup. You missing your mommy's mangoes? Not as much as your daddy's cooking. I love that fucking movie, dude. It's so
what does that even mean?
I don't know.
It's provocative.
It's provocative, yeah.
Gets the people going.
I
don't know. There's got to be some other ones. I feel like there's got to be something that I quote often, but I just don't relate to it being a movie. I don't know.
This hawk is dead.
That's just Rango, bro.
This man would
give me something besides Rango and Thanos.
He was drowned. I got nothing else.
I got obviously Joker quotes.
I got the what is it? This attack is a blind to vanish you. The fucking from Tenet. An obscure Tenet. So good. The posterity line is really good.
I can't think of anything else.
So many good lines from Tenet. What's happened's happened. It's an expression of faith.
Let me look my top 5. Do I quote from my top 5 often? Probably not.
Don't. I quote from Tenet occasionally and Rango all the time.
Let me see my top 5. Let me see.
Rango's not my top.
It might be
app.
spoilers. I clicked on the chess app. What am I doing?
The chess app.
Instinctively.
Went for
Instinctively.
those chess puzzles.
It's puzzle time. Let me see what I got here. No, I don't think I do. I don't quote a lot. I think Thanos quotes are probably what I do the most.
Dread it. Run from it.
What I'm about to do. I'm gonna enjoy a lot.
Yeah. This puts a smile on my face. What's the perfectly balanced?
This used to be a paradise, or something like that.
No, it's your home. Yes, and it was beautiful.
So many good
What a
stuff.
good fucking movie, dude. Ah, so good.
Those are. I mean, that's about what I got.
So now let's get into our top 5 movies of all time.
You want to hop into it? You want to do game first?
Let's just get into it. We'll do the game. We'll do the game next week, maybe. So we're gonna talk about our top 5 favorite movies. I actually got 6.
You
breaking the rules.
Just don't even bring up number 6.
Off the rip. Number 6. Honorable mention. I gotta put it in here because I appreciate this movie so much.
Am I gonna have to come up with number 6 now?
It's Rango. It's Rango.
I got you. I got one.
It's Rango. Rango is so good. I love it. Rango is a great movie. I've watched it a bajillion times.
It is a defining film for this house.
Yep. Got the extended cut.
I acknowledge it's a good movie.
It's a masterpiece.
It's a really good movie. But y'all watched it way too many times.
Bro, the chase scene in that movie is great.
Shut up and shoot. Y'all have to have hit 30 watches, right? At least 30 watches, right?
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Most def.
Oh, we might have to establish some pod rules.
What? That I can't quote Rango?
You get 5 Rango quotes of episode, maybe. Maybe 5.
It's a jailbreak, boys.
Yeah, there you go.
We're
it's not going to
busting
stop.
out. I love it.
What do you appreciate about that movie beside the lines?
Just, I don't know. The animation is really good, and the way that they decided they were going to go against the grain for pretty much at the time modern day animation, especially
for animals,
especially revolving around cute animals. You know, a lot of movies, especially you see like Sing, Life of Pets, Zootopia. A lot of those movies they opt for cute, symmetrical, very beautiful animation and characters meant for kids. And Rango takes that and just says fuck it all. From the main character Rango having 2 different sized eyes to the bird who has an arrow through the eye. Everyone is gross. Everyone is.
But everyone has details.
Yes.
You know, it feels like they're all.
Every character feels. Yeah, every character feels so alive and like
something you don't get in those other movies from like even just background characters. All of them having so much personality.
Every single background character in Rango, you're like, oh, that's that guy. It's the spider. It's the blacksmith. It's the whatever. And you like know those characters to a degree. So that's why I really, really appreciate Rango.
There's a lot of things I can appreciate that movie.
Yep.
It's nice. It's nice.
What's your number 5?
You don't want to hear my number 6?
What, you got a number 6?
No, I was just going to say
School
School Rock. It's not worth it.
Number 5.
Number 5, Into the Spider-Verse for me.
Into the Spider-Verse.
We're going to talk about good animation.
What's up, Danger?
That movie has phenomenal animation, has a phenomenal story, phenomenal soundtrack. I have nothing bad to say about that movie.
That's Chance's favorite movie.
Yeah, I don't blame him. It's just such a good movie. I mean,
I like tall buildings so I can move off of them.
Watching that film in theater.
Can't wait for the second
that
one.
song hitting. Watching him jump off the building. It's just such a
you're like
powerful moment, you know?
Yeah, it's great.
And watching the coming of age of Miles into being Spider-Man, I think it's one of the best renditions of that, of someone assuming the role of a superhero.
Yeah, I agree.
Better than the video game does it. Better than any time they've done Peter Parker.
Yeah, I think so as well. Just
Miles does it the best. You know, there's so many more interesting things, especially with, him taking on Prowler immediately, overcoming a lot of things. And, it's just a lot. There's a lot to unpack in that movie, and it's really good.
And the animation's good. And,
the animation is phenomenal.
That soundtrack is just bangs. I got it on vinyl.
God, I love the art style. Yep. There's so many good moments. I mean, it's
can't wait for number 2.
Neither can I.
Number 2.
When is that? 2022?
Yeah, next year. Next year,
so good. So what are we getting in that one? We're gonna get the 2099 Miles, right?
Yep. Something like that.
I'm excited
because I know he's in the end credit scene. Number 5 for me is Midsommar. I love. Fuck you, Mike. I love Midsommar. I prefer it infinitely more to the other movie by that director, Hereditary. I think Hereditary is good up until the point where it starts to get a little supernatural after old guy goes into shock from his sister getting murdered. The sister getting murdered scene is fucking awesome. It's like one of the best horror scenes ever in horror, period.
Oh, yeah.
Full
suspense.
Stop. I mean, so good.
See,
so good.
We could talk so much more about that movie than we could.
So good. But everything after that point is so lackluster to me. But Midsummer, I love. I'm in love with the atmosphere. The intro hits so hard. The music is really good. I like the foreshadowing. I like the metaphoricalness of it. I love Florence Pugh, obviously. And I'm just a really, really big fan. Really, really big fan of that movie. And I think it's super weird and like does some really interesting stuff. And I just really love
visually,
it.
I think it's very stunning. The images they create are very good.
It's
whether
great
it's
visually.
her at the end, when old guys in the chapel with the women,
Jesus.
There's just so many scenes that just look really
like an
good.
art piece.
Yeah,
like an art
exactly.
piece.
So
Yeah.
I will acknowledge that. I've expressed some of my problems with that movie, mostly with all the characters besides Florence's character being completely flat characters. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah, they are.
None of the other characters are interesting at all. I do think it's a good movie.
Yeah, I love
Top 5 though.
Love it. It's an Andrew's top 5 too.
It's a good movie though.
It is great. It
I
is
won't
great. What's your
lie.
number 4?
That director's really good.
What's your number 4?
My number 4. Let's check the list. Inception.
Inception. That's a good ass movie.
I had to think about it.
Chris Nolan.
I had to think Tenet or Inception here, and I think Inception is just too good.
Inception is incredible.
With the layering of that movie,
Leonardo.
like physically and
Dream Sense.
behind the scenes. Yeah,
Yep.
There's just so much good layering.
Leo Smith.
Leo is phenomenal in that movie.
Who is that?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt's also in it too.
Elliot Page.
Yep. That was really Elliot Page?
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that?
No
Am I
way.
tripping?
It's not Elliot Page. No way.
Hold
Fact
up.
check.
Look it up, Jordan.
What do I got?
It's Elliot Page, right?
No way, it's not Elliot Page.
Is that?
There's just so many good things in that movie.
Sure it is, dude.
Oh my god, just the final culmination of everything, timing everything correctly so they all pull it off right. You get those same
going
moments
into limbo.
Yeah, you get those same moments in Tenet.
It's Elliot Page.
Wow. Okay, I can't believe that doesn't seem right.
The Maze Girl.
Yeah, you're right. There's just he does that in a lot of movies, right? He does that in Tenet too, where you have that same moment of everything culminating together, and you watch the pieces all fall in place.
Yep.
But it just feels better in Inception for me, I think.
Yeah.
So it was a tie between those two movies to kind of take that spot, but
up in the top 5.
I think it's gotta be Inception for me.
Inception.
Too good, way too good.
Super, super good. My number 4 is Arrival, a Amy Adams joint, the movie that made me fall in love with Amy Adams, and I started to watch.
Leap Year for me.
Yep, I started to watch a lot of her movies. I can't. There's a new one on Netflix coming out. Oh man, burp. Sorry. She has like a TV show or something. I'm trying to watch, but Arrival. I cannot state how much I love this movie. Between the soundtrack and the visual style of the movie, of the fogginess of the movie, the somewhat grayscale tint that's over the entire thing, and the kind of twist in the end. As you'll see, there's probably a theme here from this movie going forward for the next couple of movies. A little bit to playing around with time.
Yeah.
Playing around with time in that movie. I think the way that movie shows you the time travel in quotes is great, and the reveal of that towards the end of her being like, what? And the moment in the movie that really hit for me, especially when watching it in theaters, was when she's sitting there and she's like, why do you keep showing me this child? A child that you were shown throughout the entirety of the movie, thinking these are flashbacks. Well, that's what this section's about.
Yeah.
Thinking that they're flashbacks when in reality they end up not being, and it's just really good because they set up the movie from the beginning to show you this, but at the same time in the beginning they tell you the movie, like, hey, this is like the narration tells you what's going to happen in the movie, but you don't really know it at the time.
I think
really
what I
good. And the
appreciate,
performance by Amy Adams is really, really good.
Yeah, and Jeremy Renner too.
Jeremy Renner, yes, sir.
I think what I liked most about that movie is that the big twist isn't in your face. It's not necessarily that big of a deal.
Yeah.
When compared to like some Nolan's twist, right?
Yeah.
Or it's just a calm. Oh.
Yeah,
that makes
sense.
And
it's a super interesting take on aliens. Like, let's look at this from the lens of a linguist.
Yes.
Trying to communicate with aliens. We're not going to, aliens are invading to blow up Earth, or they came here, we don't know why they came here, and we're going to follow the world's greatest linguist to try to figure out why they did.
Yeah. It's very interesting premise,
good.
It's executed very well.
Yes, beautifully. Love Arrival.
I do too. Number 3. I had a tough time picking this one too. Because it's representative, kind of like I do with my top 5 when I put Soul Silver up there.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it's a top 5 game, but it is representative for what I think is a top 5. Yeah. So Endgame.
Okay.
I was between Infinity War and Endgame, right?
Infinity War for me. Infinity War for me.
I think just Endgame was the sweet release and culmination of that 10 years.
So, yeah,
I think you could say the same about Infinity War, but Endgame is truly here's everything
I would
put out.
But I just think as
enjoy
a
this.
structured movie, I think Infinity
As
War.
a structured movie, yeah, I think Infinity War is a better movie. Yeah. Infinity War probably is actually just a top 5 movie.
It's really good.
But Endgame, there's just so many good scenes. There's so many moments where you're just like, yes,
and it's
paid off.
Someone who's watched all the MC movies, you get a lot, especially in the beginning, a lot of payoffs, a lot of flat callbacks, a lot of stuff like that. So
couldn't say that last week, huh?
What?
As someone who's seen all the MCU movies.
Oh yeah, because I didn't.
Yeah, finally you can say it. Yeah, but just I mean, so many powerful scenes. Of course, the on your left, you know,
the
Mjolnir, Cap swinging with both. There's just so many good moments watching people do stuff that up until the ending too.
Who are you?
Cap passing on the shield. There's just so many powerful moments.
I don't even know who you are.
Where it just feels like
about to be
the 10 years you've watched just finally paid off.
Yeah, and it's great.
You've seen your stories end for a lot of characters. It's just so good.
I'm Iron Man.
And that you've seen that movie. We've seen those movies, and we know it's worth watching all 23 movies again to get to that point.
Yes.
And that's why I think it's so good. Just because there's nothing else like that. You will never have another franchise that can do that.
Well,
DC
it
tries.
might be MCU again later on.
Yeah. I mean, Marvel will do it again. Marvel has that ability, but no other franchise besides Marvel can do it. DC's tried. Yeah. They're the only ones who probably could, and they can't do it.
Yes.
You know, you can watch Godzilla vs. Kong. You're never gonna get the same feeling that you get from that. And so it's just it's too strong of a feeling and too good of a payoff to ever compete with anything else. It's just on another league of its own. So.
Yeah, I agree. My number 3 is Tenet. Christopher Nolan's Tenet quickly rose the ranks. After watching it back in October, I really love Tenet. And again, we're talking about time here. Time travel isn't necessarily something I would say like, oh, time travel movies are the best. So I don't know, but there's 3 movies in my top 5 spoilers for the next movie coming up that are about time travel. Whereas Tenet, I think, just like Christopher Nolan does, takes an idea and he runs with it and he does something super unique with it. A completely, at least in my experience, maybe you can point to something out there like, oh, 40 years ago there was this book. But at least in my experience, what feels like a completely unique take on time travel with you can't necessarily jump to different points in time, but you can flip your trajectory in time and go backwards and then flip it again and come forward, and that changes things and you follow down different paths. And some of the twists in there, some of the turns, some of the lines, the deliveries. John David Washington really establishing himself.
Robert Pattinson really proving himself too.
Really put Robert Pattinson on my list of like, okay, I'm going to start watching all of his movies, and I'm really liking him. John David Washington, this and Black Klansman, really establishing himself as his own powerhouse separate from Denzel, which is really nice, his father. So it's really good to see him be able to separate himself from that and kind of not live in his father's shadow and establish himself as his own actor, which is really good. And Tenet is just so good between the soundtrack and the action and the twists and turns. It's just really good.
I think when you finally understand what Tenet is doing and how the mechanics of that movie work is when you really start to appreciate what's going on.
Oh shit!
Because like you're just kind of assuming that Nolan's made these rules and he's playing with them correctly when you don't understand. But when you do understand and you understand how Nolan has decided to tell his story, it's really good. Yes. I think it's really good. Obviously, there's problems.
Yeah, there is.
But I think they're overshadowed by how good of a performance that the actors put on. Yes, it's just a phenomenal movie.
I agree. It's also all gas. Do not blink.
Yeah, for real. You cannot.
Do not.
You cannot go to the bathroom.
Also, turn on your subtitles.
Yep.
Turn on your subtitles
for any Nolan movie, really.
Yep. All right, number two.
Okay, this is where it gets controversial for me, and we diverge pretty hard.
Oh no!
So my number 2, La La Land.
Okay.
I think I think it's a respectable pick, but I'm definitely not in a lot of people's top 5s.
No, not even close for me. I thought it was
mostly because
I liked it.
A lot of people. It's a musical first and foremost. It's a love story.
Ryan Gosling, of
dream
course,
chasing in Hollywood, you know, and it's phenomenal. Damien Chazelle is my favorite director. I can't wait for him to put out another film. But it's just so good. I love all the songs. I love all the imagery they use, all the colors, the way they go through the seasons in the movie. You know, Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling just put on a phenomenal performance.
And the stages of a relationship doomed to fail.
And the thing is, it's not necessarily doomed to fail. It's about decisions and
just differing trajectories.
Yeah, wanting the best for someone doesn't necessarily mean you always end up together with them. Stuff like that. There's so many interesting ideas that go on, and plus it's an homage to classical movies and the way they're filmed. There's
It
a
is
lot
a
of
beautiful movie.
There's a lot of
say that.
shots where you're
It's
like,
pretty.
oh, that's clearly a reference to this. They obviously watch old films in the movie. And a lot of jazz in the movie too, which I appreciate. It's just so good. It's a me movie. Yeah, I feel like that movie was made for me.
It really is.
And it's just
It really is.
it's perfect. I have nothing negative to say about La La Land.
And my second favorite movie of all time, About Time, which is really fucking good.
What's it about?
That's Domhnall Gleeson. It's About Time. That's Domhnall Gleeson. If you would know him probably from the Mimic episode of Black Mirror where the lady's husband dies and she orders a body of him, like a body double. Or he is that leader, not leader guy of one of the starships in Star Wars, in the newer trilogy. But I really like Domhnall Gleeson, and this movie really is just super fucking good. It's a romance about time travel, and if you haven't seen it, it kind of flew under the radar there for a little bit. I feel like for a lot of people haven't heard of it or haven't seen it, and it's a true blue just romance that's about time and this unique take on time travel. Well, not unique. I guess I'm gonna keep saying that every fucking time talking about one of these movies, but this interesting take on time travel and less about the time travel itself and more about life and love and what it means to be alive and what it means to live every day like it's your last or to live every day like it's the only day you get and stuff like that. And this movie is one of those ones that I reference this movie when talking about my principles and who I am as a person and like the things I believe in and stuff like that. And I usually if someone's seen, I reference this movie as like a fundamental pillar of something. Like the theme of this movie is a fundamental pillar of my beliefs and the things that I believe in, that the things that matter in this life and stuff like that. And About Time really hits those notes. It's a really, really beautiful movie. You will cry. I know I do every single time. I mean, it's just really good.
It
really
is
good.
super
and it's
good.
Got some comedic relief in there, and
it's
just nice.
There's just so many good romance moments in that movie. Like when you get to the midway point and there's like that conflict that arises.
Like, shit.
Yeah, and you're like, no, come on.
No.
And then just watching how that plays out, it just feels so good. It's such a human movie, even though it's about time travel.
Yeah,
it's so like, it feels so real.
It's about
like,
love lost and telling the people that you love them.
Like it's so hard to empathize in some movies where that time travel or space. It feels so like Interstellar. You can kind of understand what's going through Matthew McConaughey's mind and watching his daughter grow up in front of him. Like you can empathize with that, but not nearly as much as you can
with this situation.
And About Time, which is based around the human elements of like love.
There's time travel, but it's not crazy and it doesn't do all these things, and it's just like a beautiful movie about being human. Yeah, and I really like it. You're number one.
Another Damien Chazelle classic, the best one, Whiplash. It is. I'm a drummer, so of course I feel like I have a better understanding of some of the things that are just, it's about drumming. Yeah. So, but the movie's not about drumming. No.
It's about
I think I appreciate the way they're telling it through drumming. Yeah. So I appreciate that first and foremost. But watching Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons butt heads the whole movie and come to the culmination at the end of the movie, it's just such an intense feeling. The last 5 minutes, where I'm sure anybody who's seen it understands, it's just arguing with no one saying words. Yeah. And they're finally becoming an understanding between them two, and everything after that point in the story does not matter. Yeah. And that's why Damien Chazelle ends it right there. There's so many good moments. I mean, watching him struggle with his relationships, deciding what he wants to do. A lot of human elements there too. And how they make it such a big, tense movie when it's just like him running late for rehearsal, right? Or something like that. It feels so much higher scale than just a kid playing drums and a fancy band. Yeah. And then the acting is phenomenal. Yeah. It's J.K. Simmons, really not my tempo, Yeah, it is really good. That movie made me a J.K. Simmons stan. That's why I'm anything he's in afterwards.
So happy about Invincible. Yeah. He's really killing it as Omni-Man Invincible.
I just love that movie so much. I want to go watch it again. It's just so good.
It's a good movie. My number one is the Miyazaki classic. And when I say that, I'm sure most of you would think of a different movie. Just your own unique movie because, it's Miyazaki. He has a bajillion movies out there. And some of you might think of this same one. And some of you might think of different one.
I feel like this is the classic.
But Spirited Away. Spirited Away is my favorite movie of all time. I have it tattooed on the back of my calf, left calf here. It's a beautiful movie.
Naked calf?
it rose through the ranks of my favorite movie. One, because Miyazaki is maybe not my favorite. Him and Chris Nolan kind of go back and forth there, but really high up there in terms of directing prowess. How much I enjoy all of his movies, and Ghibli's movies in general. The classic things that you can talk about in Ghibli movies: the art style, the audio, the storytelling,
world building,
just really, really good. And somehow doing all of this world building in this weird world that doesn't make any sense, yet you're still there and you're really enjoying it. And Spirited Away is a beautiful movie. I watched it for the first time when I was like 10 or 11 years old on Cartoon Network. I watched it like 3 times in a row, and then I had recurring dreams of Spirited Away for years afterwards, but could never remember the movie. And it wasn't until I was like 16 or 17 when I finally found the movie inadvertently, getting into anime and being like, wait, this is that movie that I watched as a kid that I like used to dream about all the fucking time, and I couldn't remember it. And that's why, to me, like it stays up there because of like that specific interaction that I had with the movie, on top of it just being an incredible fucking movie from start to finish. A little long in the tooth, but still really, really good. Really sad in the end. I always cry in the end because I just wanted to turn around and go back to the world of the spirits. I wanted to stay there, which she'll obviously rejoin them later in life. But No Face, iconic character. Chihiro, an iconic character. The little fly dudes and the soot sprites and the recurring things. Just a really good Miyazaki movie, and I think it's
a very good representative film for his whole archive. And everything.
I'll accept any picks. Howl's Moving Castle, My Neighbor Totoro. What's the Princess Mononoke? Like, there's so many good picks. Ponyo, Wind Rises. There's just so many good movies. I could never hate on you for picking that one as your favorite Miyazaki movie, because I'm like, they're all super good. Like, I'm partial to From Up on Poppy Hill and things like that. So, but I really like Spirited Away. That's my top 5, and that's your top 5.
A lot of good movies.
Yes,
I mean. Man.
Hopefully that gives you an idea of our tastes as people who watch film.
Trash.
I watch a lot more movies than Mike does, I think, but because I watched like the Sundance, went and watched the Sundance Film Festival and stuff. Maybe we could fit that in and talk about those movies or something, because I have so many fucking movies that I've watched this year already. And you can probably look forward to us doing like a recap of the year, movies and TV, our favorite shows, our favorite movies from the year. You can look forward to stuff like that coming down the line, and maybe if it's a slower news week, we'll let's talk about our favorite Marvel moments, or let's talk about this. We'll find some stuff to fit in there, and we're trying to figure out what the show's going to be. If you have any ideas, leave it in the comments, email us, jump in the Discord, let us know any ideas for the show that we can do to make it better, because obviously we're making it for you, for us, but also for you, knocking shit down, for us, but also for you. It made it
so long.
I know, it did. I talk with my hands too much, because we got to be a lot closer to the camera now, because this is like the old set is behind this. It's like a whole thing, a little behind, but... So you can look forward to that. And again, if you enjoy this content, consider supporting us on Patreon over at patreon.com/syncedup. Consider subscribing. Consider doing all that stuff. Leaving a review. If you are on Apple Podcasts, or any of you have access to Apple Podcasts, very, very much so, I have to beg you, I guess, to go to Apple Podcasts, leave a review, a written review, and a 5-star to try to get us into new and noteworthy. That could project our podcast very high up the ranks and get us some serious numbers, and we would appreciate that.
Well, especially because it's a brand new film.
It's brand new. So
new feed.
For the next couple months, anyone that has an iPhone, grab their iPhone, review and rate us, subscribe to the feed, do all of that stuff, and we would very much appreciate it. Even if you don't use Apple Podcasts and you use Spotify, jump over there, just do it real quick, and you don't ever have to open the app again. So we'd very much appreciate that. But thank you for watching or listening to this episode of the Synced Up Filmcast. We will see. If you're on Patreon, stay tuned for the post show, or I guess because they don't stay tuned anymore. I guess they jump over, but get ready for the post show. If not, we will see y'all next week on Tuesday. Goodbye.